Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in. Sorry I haven't posted in a little while. I've been busy setting up my band for its up and coming first gig, UKDC. Free advertising there. Okay, so today I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on Epiphone versus Gibson, and lots of rows, lots of arguments, and people's opinions differ greatly, and it's some comments and videos are great to see and to watch. So I thought, with me having an Epiphone G-400 Pro and a recent purchase, my 2018 Gibson SG Standard, I thought I'd do a quick video. I'm going to be as thorough as I can. We'll do a rundown from top to bottom of the guitar and some sound tests as well. I'm going to try not to give my opinion. I don't want to create any arguments. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. I'm just going to show you what each guitar has and what it sounds like. So I'll start with the Epiphone. First thing I will say that you do notice when picking the two up is the Epiphone is significantly heavier, believe it or not, than the Gibson, weighing in at 3.2 kilos give or take, whereas the Gibson is only 2.8. So it's quite significant when you after a 2-hour show, that's for sure. Neither guitar is heavy, however. So Epiphone, first of all, in cherry red, looks beautiful. Always does, always will. Headstock, your standard Epiphone headstock with the vintage looking tuners, made in China. Very nice. I remember when I first got this guitar, absolutely loved it. In terms of neck profile, so the width of the neck is pretty much exactly the same as what you get on the Gibson SG, so no difference there. Slight difference, however, in the distance between the strings. Epiphone slightly wider than the Gibson. It will affect playing a very small amount, but nothing that you can't get used to. Fret inlays exactly the same, trapezoid, a bit duller than what you see. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but they are a bit duller than what you get on the Gibson. No binding on the Epiphone, whereas you have some lovely binding on the Gibson. Again, this is all just the aesthetical side of things. Grover locking tuners on the Gibson with the piston style and thumb wheel at the back. That's how they lock in. There's a couple of different versions of Grover locking tuners. These are the ones with the thumb wheel. Moving on further down, just little things really. The little black extension, the little black bit here, you can see it's very, I don't know if you can pick it up, very sharp angles on here. It looks as it's just been cut at right angles and put in, whereas on the Gibson, if you can see, it's nicely sort of shaped and follows the contours of the guitar much cleaner. The noticeable thing with regards to the body is this body is thicker. It is much thicker than the Gibson, which will explain the difference in the weight. The weight tapers, as you can see here. It tapers off, as all SGs do, at the top, and then you've got your flat section here. So this flat section here is an awful lot wider than on the Gibson. The Gibson tapers off to quite a nice, thin, comfortable. It is much more comfortable to play. I will say that. Again, neither here nor there really, but weight makes a difference, and so does comfort. Moving on, so electrics, all important electrics. They're nice. Standard Epiphone pots, Epiphone everything. It's nice and neat, I will say that. Good wiring inside. The finish, however, on the inside of here, where it's got its shielding on, could be better. You know, you can see it's not been finished too well. It's still rough around the edges. So A little bit messy in there, but again, it's not a great deal. This is a £300-400 guitar. So it's not a great issue. Pickups in the Epiphone G400 Pro are just standard Alnico Classic Pro humbuckers. Very good pickups, great value for money, and a very nice sound. Locking bridge, which is very good. So when you take your strings off, the bridge stays in place. It does pop off, of course, but it stays in place. It doesn't slide out and fall all over your guitar, which is a nice little touch. Your standard 2-volume, 2-tone for each pickup. Your 3-way pickup selection, same as on the Gibson. Epiphone G400 is of course coil tapped, should you wish to do so. It's not something that I use a great deal. Aesthetically, that's about it in terms of the Epiphone. Of course, standard fixed neck, as you will already know. Yeah, it's a nice solid guitar. Don't have anything bad to say about it, really. As for the Gibson, we've already discussed the Grover locking nuts and the binding around the neck and the neck size as well. The difference is, of course, on the 2018 model we have 1961 reissue pickups, which, oh my god, they are to die for. They are absolutely unreal, these pickups. I can't even begin to talk about how they sound. And if you're looking for that classic rock, that vintage rock sound, me personally looking for the AC/DC side of things, wow, it just captures it so well. Standard 3-way pickup, 2-volume, 2-tone knobs, no coil tap. Wiring, all Gibson wiring, Gibson pots, as everyone will know. These are fantastic, and the Epiphone don't compare. You can switch them out in the Epiphone. You can switch them out and upgrade your wiring in your pots, no problem at all. It can be quite expensive. I think around £200 or £300 it costs for an upgrade of your wiring. But shop around second hand, you probably get yourself a good deal. Definitely worth doing. Epiphone is quite notorious on lots of guitars actually, but the jack input on the Epiphone, it's always coming loose. Always, you're constantly having to tighten it back up again. That has not happened as of yet with the Gibson. Solid as a rock, very steady. So perfect. We'll stop just to talk a little bit about my opinion on Epiphone. I am a great admirer of Epiphone and a great advocate of Epiphone. I have an Epiphone Les Paul tribute, 60s Tribute Plus. Wow, what a guitar. It really is something quite special. There's loads of video comparisons of it versus the Gibson Les Paul Standard, and I tell you what, it's quite embarrassing watching it, because it really kicks the tail off the Gibson Les Paul. It's fantastic. I'm not yet to do a comparison of the two, but it is unreal. It's something special. First thing I can tell you though, however, in the Epiphone SG range, I mean, even just picking the guitar up and having it resting or around your shoulders or something, it instantly feels much better. It's much better balance. There's no crazy head dive, which again, you put a nice fat leather strap on, you're not going to get. The guitar is not going to dive anyway. However, the weight distribution is so much better. It's much more comfortable to play. Yeah, and the rest is all about how it sounds, really. There's nothing much else to say in terms of the physicalness of it. So let's get to playing. I'll just get myself set up. I'll be back with you in a moment. Okay guys, so here we are. Yeah, let's get to playing. So in terms of settings, playing through my trusty Vox VT100. Beautiful amp, by the way, if you're looking in the market for an amp. Perfect. Playing on the bridge pickup. Now, for AC/DC stuff in particular, what we do is we just roll off the volume a touch for the rhythm side of things to get that. Just cleans it up a little bit, takes that distortion off and gives it a bit more crispness. Now, I've noticed that rolling off the volume, so here's the volume on max. You've got to roll off quite some way before it, before it makes much of a change, to be perfectly honest with you. No real drama, but I prefer just to have the more of a delicate touch. So anyway, let's roll off the volume just that touch, and let's see what it sounds like. Quick change over. Now the Gibson standard again. That's full volume. Roll it off just a touch and you can see straight away the difference. It cleans up very easily just with that couple of little millimeters turned off the volume, which is exactly what I like. Okay, so don't yet know how that came through on the recording, but in terms of feel, there really is no comparison. The way the Gibson feels is just, it's out of this world compared to the Epiphone. As good as the Epiphone is, it just feels so much more easy to play. It's just it does exactly what you want it to do. In terms of sound, I think the Gibson is much crisper. Of course, they do have different pickups. I'm not naive to that fact. These are the vintage style pickups, so I expect that extra level of crispness to it anyway. It's very sensitive to what you do, to how you play, which is great. So if I just turn the volume back up to full. That's what you get. But nice and delicate. Cleans up quite nicely. Let's see how the Epiphone does for that. Probably not much in it, to be fair. Does what I want it to do. Perfectly nice, perfectly well. Excellent. So, well, let's do a bit of lead work. So, volume on full. Let's see what it does. switch over back to the Gibson. Great, great. Again, I think both guitars are very good guitars, personally. The Gibson, however, absolutely blows it out of the water in terms of the way it feels, its playability, comfort, sound, sensitivity. I just don't think there's a comparison, which is unfortunate. I think Epiphone perhaps put a lot of time, effort into the Les Paul range, and that's why they're of such great quality. I think they need to pay a little bit more attention to their SG range. I think if they did that, spent a little bit more time on the finished product and replicating as best they can, I think they'd give the Gibson a run for its money, no problem at all. As for Epiphone versus Gibson, well, it's completely personal opinion. I think they're very close in the Les Paul range and people make some very valid points. However, in the SG range, for me, Gibson all the way. Gibson all the way. Massive price difference, however. Whether or not the differences warrant the difference in price is is a completely different matter. If you want to replicate AC/DC Angus Young, if you want that vintage style, if you want a Gibson SG, save up, get a Gibson SG. If you are on a budget, can't go wrong with the Epiphone G-400 Pro. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful, and it plays really well, and it sounds very nice as well. Yeah, please leave your comments. There's probably lots of things that I haven't discussed, a few things that I've missed out. I'm happy to do another video if you've got any specific questions, anything you want to know, anything you feel as though I've missed out, you would like us to test. I know I haven't tested full range of sounds. I've only tested the bridge pickup, and I've not done any clean work or anything like that. So if you want that, by all means let me know. Feel free to go onto Facebook, UKDC. I'll take the opportunity to promote my band. We are new, we've not yet gigged. A couple of weeks time we have our first gigs. Feel free to visit our page, UKDC, on Facebook, or the website ukdcband.co.uk. Yeah, and follow our progress, see how we get on. But thanks for watching, guys, really appreciate it. Thank you, bye for now.